A tense Israeli street at dusk. A counter-terrorism unit moving in low along a residential building. The operators in plain black kit, no flag patches visible, no insignia the world would recognize. The shop owners on the corner know the operators by sight. The wider world does not. Ask most viewers anywhere outside Israel to name the country's elite hostage rescue unit and the answer comes back fast. Sayeret Matkal. The unit that flew to Entebbe on the 4th of July 1976, that rescued the Israeli hostages on a Ugandan airfield, and that lost a young commander named Yonatan Netanyahu in the operation. That answer is wrong. Sayeret Matkal is an elite unit. Sayeret Matkal is not the unit that runs into Israel's hostage crises today. The men who do that work wear a different patch, report to a different ministry, and have spent the last 50 years building a track record the world has been polite enough not to talk about. The unit is called Yamam. It was founded in 1974. It belongs to the Israel Border Police, the Magav, and not to the Israel Defense Forces. And it is the unit Delta Force studies when American Tier 1 planners want to understand what a counter-terrorism unit looks like after a half-century of nearly continuous operational deployment. Stay to the end for the single factor that makes Yamam a unit Delta Force genuinely studies, and subscribe now so the next unit breakdown reaches you first. The reason the world remembers Sayeret Matkal is the reason the world remembers any military unit. A single famous raid. Operation Entebbe was the kind of mission that creates a generation of national mythology. A long-range Israeli air operation that crossed 4,000 kilometers of hostile airspace, landed troops at a remote Ugandan airfield, recovered the hostages, killed the hijackers and a number of Ugandan soldiers, and turned around for home, with one Israeli commander dead at the head of the assault. The film made of it ran in every Western cinema. The name Sayeret Matkal became, in the public imagination outside Israel, the answer to the question of who handles Israel's most dangerous problems. The public imagination was 30 years behind the institutional reality. Sayeret Matkal is, in formal terms, the General Staff Reconnaissance Unit of the Israel Defense Forces. Its mission profile is special reconnaissance, long-range direct action against high-value targets, and intelligence gathering deep inside hostile territory. It is the unit Israel sends when the target is across a border, when the operation requires a specialist reconnaissance approach, and when the standard hostage rescue chain is not the right tool. It is not the unit Israel calls when a bus is hijacked outside Tel Aviv, or when a terrorist holds a kindergarten in a town in the north. That call goes to Yamam. The distinction is not a recent reorganization. The distinction has been the operational reality since 1974, 2 years before Entebbe even happened. The world that watched Entebbe in 1976 was watching a Sayeret Matkal mission outside the Yamam remit. The world drew the wrong conclusion. Israeli viewers have been quietly correcting the record in the comment sections of YouTube ever since. Yamam was founded in 1974, in direct response to the Malot massacre, when a group of Palestinian militants seized a school full of Israeli children, and the existing Israeli response was judged to have failed. The decision the Israeli government made was structural. The hostage rescue mission could not be parceled out among IDF infantry units, paramilitary police, and improvised reconnaissance teams. It needed a single dedicated unit, permanently on call, with a single command, available within hours to any incident inside Israel. The unit was placed under the Israel Border Police rather than the IDF. The reasoning was deliberate. The Border Police, the Magav, operates inside Israel, and inside the West Bank, and inside Gaza, in territory the IDF normally does not patrol directly. The Border Police has the legal authority to act inside Israeli civilian areas in ways the IDF cannot. The hostage rescue unit needed both. It needed paramilitary training. It needed police authority. The Border Police was the institutional home that allowed it to be both. The unit's full name is Yehida Meyuhedet Shel Hamishtara, the Special Police Unit. The acronym Yamam comes from the Hebrew initials. Inside Israel, the name is shorthand. Outside Israel, the unit has been largely invisible. in part because the Israeli government has historically kept the unit's operations under tighter classification than even Sayeret Matkal operations have received. The names of operators are not published. The dates of operations are sometimes published years after the fact, sometimes not at all. Photographs of the unit are rare. The unit does not seek attention, and the Israeli press, for the most part, respects the request. What the world does know is the mission set: hostage rescue inside Israel and the territories, counterterrorism arrests of high-value targets, bomb disposal and tactical breach support for other Israeli security services. The kind of operation an American audience would recognize as Tier 1 federal hostage rescue work, but at a tempo and inside a security environment that no American unit has ever operated under for the duration Yamam has operated in. What makes Yamam interesting to a Tier 1 planner is not the mission. It is the structure. The unit is organized in a way that no other counterterrorism unit in the world quite matches. Inside one chain of command, Yamam holds the full range of capabilities a hostage rescue mission demands. The assaulters who breach the door and clear the room. The snipers who provide cover and, when the call comes, the precision shot through a window. The negotiators who manage the standoff phase, talking the holders down for hours or days before any breach decision is even made. The dog handlers, with the working K9 element trained to enter ahead of the operators and find or pin a hostile before the door is forced. The bomb disposal technicians, who handle any device the holders may have placed on the door, the hostages, or themselves. In other counterterrorism doctrines, these capabilities live in separate units. The American hostage rescue model has Delta or Dev Group doing the assault, the Federal Bureau of Investigation hostage rescue team doing the domestic mission, separate negotiation teams attached for the standoff phase, separate bomb disposal teams attached for the device problem, and the K9 element coming from a different command entirely. The integration happens at the task force level, in the operations center, often in the hours immediately before the breach. Yamam runs all of it under one roof. The negotiator who talked the hostage takers for the last 6 hours is in the same building as the assaulter who is about to enter. The sniper covering the window has trained on the same range, this month, as the assaulter coming through the door. The dog handler is on first-name terms with the breacher. The bomb tech and the assault element commander have eaten lunch together for years. When the unit goes in, it does not go in as a coalition. It goes in as a single organism. That single organism structure is the reason the integration is faster, the decisions, cleaner, and the operational learning compounds across capabilities in a way the American model has never quite duplicated. The structure is one piece. The other piece is the deployment rate. Yamam is operationally committed at a tempo no other counterterrorism unit in the world has matched in the modern era. The unit is on call 7 days a week. Inside Israel and inside the territories, the unit deploys on real operations on a routine schedule that the Israeli press, when it reports it at all, reports as a matter of weekly news. Some weeks have one operation. Some weeks have several. The conditions are different every time. The locations are different every time. The threats are different every time. The accumulation, over 50 years, has produced an institutional memory of live counterterrorism work that no Western Tier 1 unit can match. The comparison is uncomfortable for the American Tier 1 community because it is structural, not about quality. Delta Force is an exceptional unit. Delta operators are the equal of any operator in Yamam. The difference is the number of doors each operator has kicked under live conditions in his career. A Yamam operator with 5 years in the unit has done the kind of work that an American operator typically does only in a deployment, returns home from, and then waits months or years to do again. The Yamam operator does not wait. The next operation is next week. The compounding effect is institutional. Every operation produces lessons. Every lesson is debriefed at the unit. Every debrief feeds the training that runs between operations. The training cycle that produces a Yamam operator is therefore continuously updated by real-world contact with the tactics and equipment the enemy is using this month, this week, today. There is no laboratory simulation that can match that update cycle. There is no exercise design that can substitute for it. What that produces is a unit whose tradecraft is built less on theory and more on the past 50 years of actual cases. The decision matrix the operator carries into a room has been informed by hundreds of rooms before it. The judgment is not classroom judgment. It is repetition judgment. That judgment translates into specific tradecraft that other units copy. The Yamam approach to the negotiation phase, where a single coordinator stays on the phone with the hostage taker for the duration of the standoff, has been studied by American hostage negotiation programs. The Yamam approach to the dynamic entry, where the assault element commits earlier than most Western units would, has been studied by every NATO counterterrorism community. The Yamam approach to bomb disposal under fire, where the technician works in close coordination with the assaulter, rather than waiting for the area to be secured first, has been studied by Allied units across Europe. That is what closes the open loop the hook opened. The reason Delta Force studies Yamam and treats Yamam as a peer unit despite the structural and political differences is the live fire experience curve. The relationship between the American Tier 1 community and Yamam is not a Hollywood fiction. It is documented. American operators have traveled to Israel on liaison visits for decades. Israeli operators have traveled to Fort Bragg. The exchange is professional, low-key, and rarely publicized. The unit at Fort Bragg does not advertise its visits to the Israel Border Police compound. The Israel Border Police does not advertise its visitors. Both sides treat the relationship as a working channel rather than a media event. The reason the channel exists is the obvious one. Delta wants the tradecraft Yamam has refined over 50 years of live operations. Yamam wants the systems engineering Delta has poured American budget into, the optics, the breaching tools, the night vision suite, the airborne intelligence backbone that supports an assault when the United States allocates it. The trade is not symmetrical, but it is functional. Each side has something the other side cannot produce on its own. The trade also reflects an honest assessment that some kinds of training cannot be substituted for. The thousand small decisions Yamam has made under real pressure, in real Israeli streets, against real holders, on real days when the failure mode was a real casualty, are not reproducible at any American shoothouse. The American operator can rehearse the kinetics. He cannot rehearse the political pressure that surrounds an Israeli hostage incident in week 30 of an active military campaign. The Yamam operator can rehearse the politics in the way only a unit operating inside its own country can. That is part of what the American visitor goes to Israel to absorb. The honest answer to the question of who Delta studies abroad is not the famous Sayeret Matkal of Entebbe. The honest answer is the quiet border police unit that does not put its operators on magazine covers, that has spent 50 years quietly building the closest thing to institutional perfection in the hostage rescue mission set, and that the Pentagon visits every chance it gets. Here is the line for the comments. Reputation is built by one famous raid, real capability is built by 1,000 quiet ones, and that is the gap between Sayeret Matkal's fame and Yamam's experience. Israeli viewers, set the record straight below. Which unit would you want on a hostage crisis tomorrow? If you learned something the algorithm has been hiding from you, subscribe. The next video opens the door on a unit so secret it does not keep the same name for long.